I am Denise Cole of Primary 5 Prudence in SCGS, and today I will be teaching you guys how to build your very own maglev train, aka this is my entry for the Eating Challenge 2020. Let's begin. First off, you will need some coiled copper wire, preferably in the 30 gauge, a battery, preferably double A or triple A, and this neodymium magnets. Okay, let me elaborate more. You have to be careful with the neodymium magnets as they are very brittle and can be very easily broken when they collide with each other in high speeds. And when they break into very sharp pieces. Also, I suggest you keep this project safely away from any young children you might have in the house, as this is not safe for them at all. Okay, let's start. The first thing we are going to do is take our neodymium magnets and separate them into two groups of equal numbers. So, for example, I have 8 neodymium magnets here, and I'm going to be separating them into groups of 4. Separating them is really hard because the attracting force is really strong. And you might have to ask an adult for help. Oh my goodness. Okay, got it. Okay. So next, we're going to take our battery and make sure it is in working condition. Keep it well away from the magnets first. Now, we're going to take our magnets, these two magnets, and we're going to make sure that they both repel. We're going to have both sides facing each other and make sure both sides repel each other first. So you make sure the two groups repel each other. There's going to be some kind of force in between, like an invisible barrier is basically pushing you, for those people who don't understand what repelling is. Next, we're basically going to stick the battery in between. So now we've got two groups. We're going to take the battery, going to stick it on one end here, and for that, because it repels this end, we're going to stick the other end here. And for that, there is our train. The next thing we are going to do is basically to see it all in action. We're going to take our copper wire here, and we are going to take our maglev train, or so-called maglev train, and we're going to insert it fully. The train should start to work. If it doesn't work, you may want to try turning the maglev train around like this, and basically pushing it through again and repeating the process. Make sure that the magnets are properly aligned with the battery and they're not tilted. We're going to take the end, you're going to push it into the copper wire, and it should move without help. It may take a few tries to get this right, but in the end, the results are very satisfying. So if it fails, don't worry. You can persevere and try again. This experiment was actually really hard for me to do, and it's harder than it looks because there's often equipment malfunction. So don't give up. Okay, I'm going to try again. 3, 2. Oh no, this part here. 3, 2, 1. It's not working here. Also, make sure the coils are tightly together so that it's easier for the train to pass through. I will explain why later. Yay, we did it! Okay, I'm going to repeat that one more time. Okay, I can hear the electricity humming. That's really cool. Okay. 3, 2, 1. Yay! It's successful! And that is basically how you can build your very own maglev train. So, why is this so? When the battery is placed inside the coil and both magnets are touching the coil, it produces a closed circuit between the two magnets and current flows. As the current flows, the electric current flows through the conductive copper wire. A magnetic field is created around the wire. This magnetic field interacts with the magnetic field created by the neodymium magnets in a way that repels the magnets on one end and attracts the magnets on the other, pushing the battery through the coil. And so basically, a reminder is that the wire has to be the copper wire is most probably in 30 gauge, and it needs to be and it cannot be insulated. So there you have it. So basically, I'm going to do a manual instruction on how this actually works. When the battery is inside the wire, right? Okay. When the battery is inside the wire like this, let's get it out. The electricity will basically flow from here, and it will go through the batteries because it's metal, and it will go to the wire, and it will go back again on like both sides, which is actually really cool. And that creates a magnetic force around the wire here, and it repels the neodymium magnets. So basically, there's going to be this magnetic force when I put this train inside the coil, and there's going to be a force around it, which is basically a magnetic force around it that's basically going to repel the force that is in the magnets that we have here on both ends, these neodymium magnets. And basically, when that repelling motion is activated, it pushes this train through this whole copper wire and out on one end. And also, if parents are watching this, this is also a great opportunity to have your kids study science or playing instead of buying money on those expensive train sets. It is also a really good project for science fairs, and because I only used a small portion of the wire that I bought because I didn't want to waste it, I really regret not making a long train track because I think that would be really fun. So that's another suggestion that I like to make. Make a train tracks as long as possible, but keep the wires really tightly coiled together. And also, the more magnets you add on the ends of the battery, it needs to be equal. I think the faster the train will go, and I think the more effective it is. And also, even if it fails, be sure to check that number 1, the battery is working. Number 2, the magnets are not demagnetized by dropping too much. And number 3, the wire is actually copper. The first few times I've tried this, I realized that I actually bought aluminum wire instead of copper wire, and I ended up being so disappointed because that failed miserably. So make sure you check the labels of the products that you buy, okay? And have a good day.